who displayed the kind of compassion and the kind of love and the kind of example that helps anyone who is willing to be helped through difficult times, such as, again, navigating through those holidays or navigating through those recognized days, especially a day like Easter, that would most times entail us, Pastor Dominique can tell us, spending time with our families. And thank you, Pastor Dominique, for sharing last week that God had blessed you through our speaking on those things that relate to our navigating through difficult times and difficult days in the absence of our loved ones. Keep up the good work, sir. Today, I want to somewhat continue that narrative, but I want to continue it from this perspective, that in order for us to be exemplary of our Christ, we ought to have compassion. There are things that are happening in all of our lives. I know that I'm right. I don't have to be prophetic to know that in this life we're going to have trials and tribulations. We're going to have struggles, and we're going to fall into diverse temptations, and things going to happen to us, man. And just because many of us are able to mask those things, many of us are able not to wear our feelings on our sleeves, that people think that we're not going through something. Can I be transparent today and share some with you? The Lord just recently revealed to me, why I was dealing with a little bit of remorse as it relates to even pastoral recognition. I come to find out that it was conspiracy, and the conspiracy was that my life was not worthy of the recognition that I received, that because of my faults and my failures, that I should not be celebrated, I shouldn't be recognized. And I know I'm talking about me, but I'm trying to help you as it relates to your accomplishments in your lifetime, the things that you've done, the things that God has allowed people to recognize about your purpose and about your worth. Purpose, again, is the original reason why the Maker made you. So you get excited when people notice the fact that you are about your purpose. You're doing those things that God has assigned to your hands to do, only to find out that sometimes there is an undertone. There are those people who are conspiring to dismantle and to derail even the recognition of your faithfulness in your service, not in the perfection of your livelihood, but in your service, in your faithfulness to God. Look here, man, God rewards faithfulness. If I want to tell you, I got 67 years almost behind me to back that statement. God rewards faithfulness. Look here, you be faithful unto death, and God will give you, amen, the reward that you deserve because you have been faithful to him. And so to continue that story, I noticed why when it was time for me to be recognized, I was not. There was a recognition of others. There was recognition of even my parents and things of that nature. I said, man, this is interesting. This is my recognition, but all I seem to get is deflection from, what I've done to what other people have done. And I said, okay, now I find out after all these years, God has helped me to know that what that was a conspiracy that was led by this disgruntled individual who, because, again, suggested that my life was not worthy of being recognized. So they chose to influence people who they could influence to deflect the recognition that should have been given to our works to the recognition of other people who had nothing to do directly with that specific day. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about being compassionate to people, even people who are doing their best, and who even in their doing their best, they may appear to be, may seem to be, may come off sometimes as if, their lives are just going along well and splendid and nothing is happening. Man, people are carrying some stuff. They're carrying some hurt, carrying some pain. They're carrying some challenges, trials, tribulations. They're carrying difficulty in marriages. They're carrying difficulty in relationships. They're carrying difficulty in every walk of their life. They may be having health issues. But just because people don't tell you everything does not mean that people are not going through some things. And they may be going through a multiplicity of things all at the same time. So preacher, where does this compassionate thing that you're talking about come in? I'm glad you asked. Sometimes we can come off as if we're trying to be a help to some people when we think we see what we see, but we can do it the wrong way. You know, it's a wrong way to address people under the guise of trying to help them. You see them going through something and make reference to what other people can do and how they can do it better, and somebody else can help this thing and the other thing. But the bottom line is they're doing the best they can with what they have. And so if we're compassionate, I was having this discussion with my deacon on yesterday, Deacon Harris, who so graciously drove me here. We were talking about that, and there were ways to address when people are going through something. If you want to help them, ask them what they need. Sometimes people just want some help with what they need, not your suggestions, not your recommendations, not everything you say that they ought to do, because we're not right all the time. We're not right about our assessments of people. We're not right about how we diagnose people. We're not right about how we give people information on how things ought to be done. And so I deal with it, dear hearts, on a regular basis. I got people who think they're so prophetic, they know more about my life than I know. They won't ask me what I need. They're going to tell me, they're going to force me to accept what it is they think I need. And I know you're going through it, because that's part of life. I cry loud to Great Love Church what God wants for us to do, and I'll get a whole lot of folk who tell me what they're going to do, but they're not always going to do what God says through his servant, through their pastor, what needs to be done. And so I know if that's happening to me in my life, that's happening to you in your life. But do I look like I'm worried about it? Do I look like I'm just so out of sorts that, I'm just not going to be able to make it? No, ma'am, no, sir. I trust God too much. I have trusted God too long, and I am not going to let nothing separate me from God's love and God's instruction and God's will for my life, my purpose, the reason why God made me. Tune in, man. Tune into your purpose. Stop tuning into your haters. Stop tuning in to people who are trying to distract you from achieving your goals. Man, stay with it. Just stay with the process. When you stay with the process, you'll get to the goals that God has required for you to attain, to achieve in your life. So I just get more and more excited, because the more we get persecuted, is for righteousness' sake. The more I see God, Cousin Sandra, do some amazing things in my life, man. I've seen God take us from zero to where he's brought us to right now. I'm trying to tell you what I've seen. I've seen God take Great Love from a vision I had 39 years ago to being the thriving, vibrant, blessed church that we are right now, man. I see God doing it. And I see him doing it over and over and over again. And people who've been with me that see God do as he has done and still have the audacity to doubt that we don't know what we're talking about. That certain things can't be done. This is not going to happen. I heard more times, and I want to tell you how the building was never going to be built. People weren't going to give to that. People weren't going to do that. But I've got people who have their own projects who will do all they can to elevate and to lift those things that they want done. But they're not going to follow leadership. And so you ought to know that in your individual responsibility. Hey, Tria, you ought to know that in your individual responsibilities. Hey, Charmaine, we know that, things are going to be challenging for us. They're going to be trying for us. But, man, if God is ordering your steps, man, the steps of a good man, good woman are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Man, I'm having the time of my life. You would not believe how excited I am about where I am in the life, my personal life and my family life in Great Love Church. I said, wait a minute, I know you got some challenges. Yes, I do. Yeah, I know you got some issues. Yes, I do. I know you hurt sometimes. Yes, I do. I know you cry. Yes, I do. I know that sometimes you're wondering where your help going to come from. No, I don't. I know where my help comes from. All of my help comes from the Lord, Fanny. He made heaven and earth. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. Behold, he that keepeth thee, he